Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Kentuckians are still in the Tar Heel state as they help victims of Helene recover. And a new executive order is helping former prisoners reintegrate into the workforce.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. We are just past 6:30 this Friday morning, and today is October 18th. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmall for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, we are so excited. It's Friday. We're leaving the cold behind, question mark?
Not just yet, unfortunately. We have to get through today, but once we get to those high temperatures, they're all but gone. So that's really exciting news. Let's take a look at our advisories for today to kind of see where this cold weather really is centered around. The frost freeze hazards for today, we're mostly just under that frost advisory. We're seeing all of the Kentucky counties are under it, and then there's the exception of Lawrence County, which is not included, and then Mingo and Logan County, West Virginia, are also under this frost advisory. So very cold day, but those temperatures feel so cold too. We are in those 30s for the most part. There are some areas seeing that 40-degree mark, 41 for Jackson, 43 for Monticello. But overall, it's just a cold morning. You do not want to forget your coat. Those temperatures, though, are going to get warm. Thankfully, we're leaving behind that cold. Those 60s are popping up. 67 for Manchester, and for the rest of the area, really seeing those high 60s for today. Same thing with the Kentucky River Valley, mostly upper 60s, with the exception of Norton and the lower 60s. Last but not least, our Big Sandy Valley seeing the same trend. Clintwood a little bit cooler, 64 as your high for today. As we go through the next couple of hours, we'll be warming up, and those clear skies will be staying with us even overnight. We will have our sunrise at 7:45 a.m. and I'll have your bus stop forecast in just a couple of minutes. Madison?
All right, Megan, thank you. Nearly 3 weeks after Hurricane Helene hit the southeast, survivors are still feeling the impact. Kentuckian Tim Goebel spent a week in North Carolina delivering supplies and partnering with Rise Disaster Relief. Goebel noted the urgent need for winter supplies as many areas may not have electricity restored until spring.
The things that they need are winter supplies. They need batteries, they need propane, they need jackets, blankets, scarves, hoodies, thick clothes to help them get through this winter.
Goebel says they have plans to return soon before it gets too cold. More than 300 deaths have been directly caused by hurricanes in the United States this season, most of those due to Helene. And more than 100 line workers from the state continue to work on restoring power for those affected by Hurricane Helene, which happened 3 weeks ago. Workers with Kentucky Electric Co-op have been working to help sister co-ops in North Carolina and Georgia. At the height of the mutual aid response, more than 250 personnel from 19 Kentucky co-ops were called in to help. Officials with Kentucky Electric Co-op estimates 1.25 million co-op members in the southeast lost power. A former UK student was sentenced to a year in prison for an assault that was caught on camera. In August, Sophia Rosing pleaded guilty to multiple charges, including 4 counts of assault. In 2022, Rosing was arrested for assaulting Kyla Spring while she was working inside Boyd Hall. Spring says Rosing appeared to be intoxicated and hit her repeatedly while shouting racial slurs. Rosing's attorney asked for a lenient sentence. Spring's mother disagreed.
Quite frustrating to hear that 100 hours of service at the Salvation Army should suffice as appropriate when considering sentencing this young woman for how she has completely disrupted the life of my child.
In addition to 12 months in prison, Rosing was ordered to complete 100 hours of community service and pay a $25 fine. After the 2022 incident, Rosing was permanently banned from UK's campus. A South Carolina man is in jail after police found fentanyl on him in Magoffin County. On Tuesday, deputies with the Sheriff's Department confronted Todd Cray at a speedway. This after deputies received complaints of a person handling narcotics. Police later searched Cray's vehicle after he handed them a bag of marijuana. 20 Xanax bars and meth were also found in Cray's vehicle. He was taken to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. A Wayne County man is facing charges after police say he was cultivating marijuana. Police searched for people in different parts of Monticello Wednesday after arriving at a home on South 1st Street. Police noticed a man holding 2 marijuana plants in the backyard of a nearby home and was trying to take them inside. Police then stopped Danny Tomlin and conducted a search where marijuana was found. In Pike County, a man is facing several charges following a reckless driving incident. Officers with Pikeville Police arrested Kevin Hopkins after he reportedly drove away from them on a motorcycle. Hopkins was charged with evading, disregarding a stop sign, and reckless driving. He was taken to the Pike County Detention Center. Police in Pike County are looking for a driver reportedly involved in a hit and run. Officers with the Pikeville Police Department say they are searching for the owner or driver of a truck involved in a crash last weekend. Police say the driver is a woman with blonde hair. They say the crash happened at Fun Time Inflatables on Town Mountain Road. If you have any information about this, you can contact Pikeville Police at 606-437-5111. Police in Pike County are searching for a person of interest. Take a look at your screen. Officers with the Pikeville Police Department are looking for this person regarding a criminal mischief case which occurred at Walmart. If you have any information, you can contact the police department at 606-437-5111. The Commonwealth says they are taking additional steps to help those convicted of crimes have a successful re-entry into society. Governor Andy Beshear signed an executive order yesterday to establish a new council to help with the effort. It is called the Governor's Council of Second Chance Employers. The council will meet to educate employers on the benefits of second chance hiring, advocating for laws and investments to improve re-entry programming.
Everybody wins if those who re-enter society from prison succeed. And in this context, success means that our re-entering inmate does not commit a new crime, does not re-offend. It means that our re-entering inmate wins over whatever addiction issues they may have struggled with, which so often led them to prison at the beginning.
In April, Governor Beshear announced a new website to support Kentuckians seeking second chances, find a job, get an education, or continue recovery. The site also connects business leaders with resources to help them hire second chance talent. The state also received millions in federal funding to help fight overdoses. Governor Beshear announced more than $37 million to support the Kentucky Overdose Response Effort, or CORE. The 3-year grant will help respond to overdoses by increasing access to prevention, treatment, and recovery services for Kentuckians in need. One reason Governor Beshear pointed out as to why there has been such a drop in overdoses is the access to Narcan. New CDC data shows overdose deaths dropped by 15% in the last year. The White House says addiction initiatives from the Biden administration helped move the number down. Dr. Rahul Gupta from the Biden administration says he believes increased access to naloxone is a major factor in the decrease.
Well, first and foremost, we know that making the antidote for overdose deaths from fentanyl available widely was very, very important and critical. And this is the reason that this administration, for the first time, made it available, this life-saving medication available over the counter.
Dr. Gupta says increased drug seizures at the southern border and increased access to mental health resources are also factors. The Kentucky Educational Development Corporation came together for their annual legislative breakfast yesterday. Much of the discussion centered around Amendment 2. Kentucky Education Commissioner Robbie Fletcher says the amendment concerns him in 2 key areas: accountability and funding. Supporters say the amendment will give parents more of a choice in their child's education.
Public schools serve 90% of the students across the state. So if we're serving 90%, there's 10% that can be in home schools, private schools, or other. that we're not serving. Either the pot needs to grow or what's available there for public education is going to shrink.
However, Senator Donald Douglas says this amendment would give families flexibility and people should not fear what may be if it passes. President Joe Biden has approved another $4.5 billion in student loan debt relief. This round impacts more than 60,000 public sector workers, including teachers, nurses, and firefighters. The borrowers qualify for debt relief through the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. Since taking office, President Biden has canceled more than $175 billion of debt. That is about 11% of all outstanding federal student loan debt.
A little bit of those low-lying clouds here at WYMT Studios. Not too much fog on the ground. Middlesboro, Jacksboro, and Harlan really are the places seeing that dense fog this morning. But for the rest of us, we're quite clear. If you're looking outside at Hazard, we're 32 degrees right now, and the rest of the area is following suit with these very cold temperatures, mostly in the 30s this morning. 32 for Hazard, 30 for Grundy, 41 for Jackson. So overall, it's just a cold day. You don't want to forget your coat. But as you're heading out for the day, keep in mind that it is going to be warming up for your forecasted highs this Friday.
All right, Megan, thank you. And thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:42. Still to come on Mountain News this morning, there's a possible turning point in Israel's war in Gaza after the death of a prominent leader of Hamas.
Stop.